Hey guys, back for another vid today. I've been in the basement pretty much since I made that last one, so I got a few things to show you. Not really a lot. It's a really slow process with the drying times, because I'm putting down the base layers and they tend to take the longest. I did do a bit of work on the bridge, a bit more on the crop rows. Bit more detailing, nothing that's significant that you'd probably be able to tell unless I mentioned it specifically. I was working on another project for the railway embankment. Basically what I was making is taking, I don't know if I have any kicking around here. Basically what I did is I took a tile and I cut it into 2-inch strips, 2-inch wide, 11 3/4 inch long strips. And then I took 8 of them, and basically I'm making a long section of track, so all the foot sections go together. So this will be another 8 feet of track, but it's basically only about a ½ inch on either side of the track. It's just going to be a little bit of grass. It's the same technique with the ballast, the two-tone ballast, then the brown to sort of the fringe area, and then the grass on top of that. So those I've been working on in and amongst the other things. So basically when this is drying or I get a stage where I need to leave it, I jump onto that and vice versa, back and forth. So I thought I'd just throw up a quick vid. I was just about to start placing the houses in some random formations, so just to kind of see what works good. I did have one before, but now that I have grass and everything else down and sort of bushes and things, I might change the formation just because I might get a better angle now that I have some stuff on the ground. But I thought I'd just grab the camera and give you a spin over, see what the bridge looks like. It's in the drying stage right now. You can still see the white glue, but I thought I'd do it just because it's fresh in my mind. I had a little bit of frustration with it because it's kind of in a difficult spot on the board, and I'll explain that in a second. And I was having trouble transitioning it into the roads, but that was something I knew was going to happen, but I might come up with some clever techniques to hide some of the ungodly scenes that are there now. So it's kind of like, it's not really a blooper reel, but it's kind of the heartaches of terrain making, and just you kind of get to see the midway point, or the aggravation step is basically what it is. So we'll call it the aggravation step. But I thought it'd be cool to throw up some of the things that you might run into and just some clever techniques that you can use to cover and hide things. So without further ado, here we go. Okay, so what did I do since? Well, believe it or not, I actually added some more shades over there. So you can't tell that at all, I'm sure, but and I did seal it. So now I can rub my finger over this and voila, nothing. So that's pretty good to go for more layers. So I did seal that off. That got its second coat, so it's nearing this. It just needs the shades now. What else did I do? Oh yeah, I came in and I sort of I took some ink. I took some Devlin Mud GW stuff. I don't use a lot of paint, and I don't use a lot of GW paints, simply because usually I hide everything that I paint. So, but in this case the wash does work pretty good. So it's something new. I really never used it before, but well, sort of changed color. That was cool. I guess that's just the lighting. But yeah, basically what I did is took the fringe dirt and I just sort of mudded it up and tried to tie it into this a little bit. And then I took a little bit lighter, not lighter amount, but just less of it and less on the brush, and sort of just blended that. I think I still will go with the crops, but that'll give a nice variation to the ground. So just to break up the uniform look. And then in the corners I had quite a bit, so I just sort of mudded up those sections, and then I took a little bit and ran it through the track. So once again, now you can see that's kind of the above, so just a little bit of streak out there, very subtle. I didn't want to mess up the nice road, so very subtle there, and then kind of drug it through the grass, and then a little bit of spill out here. So now when you get down, you can kind of see those tracks a bit better now. If I had a tank, somebody's messaging me. Hopefully it's for a new commission. Yeah, so there you go. And then again right through. So that's kind of what I did there. What else did I do? Not much else, just sort of panning over this. I probably won't darken these just simply because I like them. I like it more of a subtle look, almost like when you change elevations, you can almost not see it anymore. That's cool. That color change, I like that. That's rambling to myself. But yeah, you can see sort of goes through. So I left that a little less subtle. And over here, you can still see a slight seam. Fear not, because I'm actually going to bring some grass and sort of tidy. This is not all going to be mud. I will have grass patches and just sort of bring it off the rock edge, and I like to hide all those seams with grass. So yeah, I bring you down through here. Sorry to show you all this is all boring stuff. And here's the bridge. So I'll give you an overhead shot. This is probably where it looks the best because you can see the least amount of seams and the least amount of mistakes. But there is how, so there's a little seam there. What I did is I actually cut a slit into the road. This is the pre-existing, I already put it down. I cut a slit into the road, and then I brought my piece of plastic card over and sort of pushed it down in to create a little bit of the least, skipping over my words, to create the least amount of transition as I could. This side, no problem. It's fairly easy to do. Other side, other story altogether. Now, here you have an ungodly, I'm going to put the camera right there. An ungodly seam. Now, by ungodly I mean it's like a millimeter. But to me, a millimeter is ungodly. So, as you can see, it's not anything I can push down. It's not anything I can push together to get rid of. It's inevitably a seam. What I'm going to do is, right here, I'm going to wrap a little bit of grass, have it coming underneath here, and I'm going to have it come right along this edge, just maybe out to about that far, as if a little bit of grass has decided to grow up in that seam. Something you see on roads anyways, so I'm going to use it right here. Over here, I'm going to have to leave that seam. I don't want to run it all the way across because it'll look too uniform, so I'm going to run it out to the widest part and kind of hide it, and then I'll sort of like arrow shape it back. So I'll make it bigger than the seam just so it doesn't look like I'm only trying to cover a line, and I'll hide that. I'll put a couple grass tufts on the corner, and then your eye will be drawn to that. Same thing on the other side. Although I don't have a line as bad, I'm going to tuft this corner because it's a little bit raised. It doesn't quite meet the road. This is paint on what it looks like from the edge. I didn't put the bushes under yet. I was going to do those first, as I mentioned before, but I found out when I was doing it that there was going to be issues with fitting the bridge snugly to the plastic card, so I decided to leave it. That's what it looks like underneath. That to me is pretty kick-ass, pardon my French. The little bit of light coming through really adds to the water effect, I think. Now, I had a little issue with this seam right here, and I started to get a slight bit of chipping. So I had to add a little bit of glue. Not a big issue. This bridge will bear 0 weight, so we'll have no pressure on it. It is already hard. It's fine. The only part that's going to bear any weight is the center, and I'll show you what I did to that. So this little seam right here that I have, no problem. It actually was going to, this archway right here and the center few sections were actually chipped away in the mold on purpose because I really wanted to, there's the section here, 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 and right on top. Those actually were chipped away because I wanted to push in moss. So the reason I didn't leave the brick full and add moss is because it would stand up above. I wanted to be right in the recesses. So this part, which is kind of light's picking up on, this part, and right here, and coming up from here will all have moss pushed right into the cracks. I left these recesses very deep, specifically for that reason. Almost like I knew what I was doing. Now these parts right here, you're wondering, I did make the bridge in 3 sections. So you have these seams right here. They will again be spots where I'll have the moss come out. Will it be uniform? Yes. Will I have to change the look of the moss a bit? Yes. I won't just run it simply in the crack and cover them over because it'll look like 2 sections of moss. I will wrap this one and bring it down. Now, here, because I made the bridge separate from the outside, I just took a bead, toothpick, and basically added some glue along the edge right here,
just to stiffen it. Now you can see a little bit of glue there. That's fine, because anywhere where I have glue, and even sections that I don't know where that came off of, but I think that's from before. I will add a little bit of grass, just ever so slight bits of grass, and maybe one or two very small tufts.